So, what we didn't get into last time was your book. It's called The Heart's Journey, Healing Hearts, Oracle Cards, and Guidebook. So, on your website, you say that you created this book to help other people open up to their heart's intelligence. This
Yes.
is like a whole new concept for me, so I'm just really starting to like wrap my brain around it. That
Okay.
like your heart is basically where your subconscious lives, and that's
Mhm.
your connection to the divine or however you connect spiritually, healing
Absolutely.
your heart wounds, being able
Yeah.
to love profoundly and connect authentically with others. And you also use it as a meditative tool.
Yes.
So I would love to get into that.
Awesome. Okay. The first place where where I want to go with that is to debunk some of the myths about oracle cards and tarot cards.
Yes.
So in our culture, there is this idea that tarot cards, at least in some parts of our culture, that tarot cards are a little bit witchy, maybe a little bit devilish. There are certain
Yeah.
religions where you are not allowed to look at an oracle card
Hmm.
or a tarot card. And the first myth that I want to debunk about that is that it these are just tools. And this may, I don't know, might offend some people, but a tarot card or deck or an oracle card deck is no different than the Bible or any other religious text in that it offers support and guidance.
Right.
If somebody opens up a Bible and they find a page and there's a passage on that page and that passage brings them comfort, that's called bibliomancy. And bibliomancy is simply opening up a book, Latin for book is biblio, and finding guidance and support. And mancy simply means that it means guidance. So there's lots of different mancies, and I won't go into all of them, but basically that's it. It's just looking for guidance through the words that have been written. Now, in the case of something like the Bible, there is a belief that those are the words of God. The words that people find on oracle card decks, for example, are, at least in my experience, channeled words. It's tapping into the subconscious and sharing messages that relate to whatever the image is that's on the tarot card or on the oracle card. The difference between tarot and oracle is that a tarot card has a very long tradition. We can look historically back as far as ancient Egypt and probably even further back than that, where
Hmm.
certain images and certain symbols were used to express specific areas of the human experience and then to create guidance for those areas of human experience.
Okay.
And the tarot is very structured. There is always the same number of cards in a deck. There's always the same number of cards in each section of the tarot, and
Hmm.
it follows a story of an individual striking out on their own and then learning through all of their experiences up until the day of the moment of death what it is to live a life, essentially.
Okay.
So they're very specific, and every card always has to have the same symbolism in some way or another on that card. When we flip over to oracle cards, what we're looking at is a much more, well, a potentially more creative process because anything can be an oracle card. There are tens of thousands of decks of oracle cards out there in the world
Oh,
with all
okay.
manner of themes and all manner of messages. But ideally, every deck is meant to be supportive in some way or another. Okay. They're just pieces of paper.
Right.
They're
Right.
just
At the end of
pieces,
the day,
right? At the end of the
it's
day, it's a piece of paper that has a
right.
picture or a drawing, and then it has a message on it.
Right. And it's more of the interpretation that you get from it or how
Exactly.
it's resonating with you.
That's right. That's right. And why it's a meditation tool is because any time that we set aside space in our day to tap into what's important to us or to ask a question to seek guidance, we're moving into an altered state of receptivity.
Hmm.
And so that becomes a meditative tool because once you see the card, you look
Hmm.
at the image, you relate to the image in some way, it means something to you. Then you read the words on the back, you then take those words into yourself and you meditate on them. You think
Hmm.
about those words. So, example, the card that I'm holding up right now, this is one of mine, and it's called Unique Heart. And there's this beautiful
Ah.
stone, beautifully shaped like a heart.
Hmm.
And it's a big stone. It's about that big. I still have this one. And the message on the back is each heart is unique, each being experiences love differently. Be yourself and love yourself, and all else will follow.
Mm.
And in a sense, this is a really beautiful card to describe what I created with the Heart's Journey. And I've got a copy of it here. So what it is actually an entire box set. So there's a
Oh,
hardcover box, and in the box, there's the guidebook, which is a full color book in which I share my personal story of my own heartbreak and how these beautiful heart images that I found in nature became a source of solace for me and a
oh,
form of guidance. Because each time I would see one of these hearts, it would remind me that I was following my heart above all other voices and that I was trying to do so with integrity and authenticity. And knowing that some of the choices I was going to have to make as I was coming out of this 23-year marriage, that was my heartbreak, with two
okay.
little children, that some people were going to get hurt. Feelings were going to get hurt no matter
Mm.
what. But if I knew that I was following my heart and I was trying to be in integrity and authenticity, then when all was said and done and the dust settled, I could feel what would be the right word? I could feel not only confidence, but knowing that I had let myself heal through the process. And so these hearts, when I would see them in nature, and you can see more of them on the cover of the book here,
Uh-huh.
they're in the shape of leaves, they're rocks, they're clouds in the sky, they're roots, and sometimes they're carved or painted on surfaces.
Right.
And it's that connection to the continual healing. And this is an interesting point, and actually this has never come up in any other podcast. As we are in a challenging situation, a painful situation, we can already be in a healing process.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to wait until it's over
Mm-hmm.
and then say, okay, I'm in full PTSD now and I've got to heal,
Right.
right? We
Right.
can we can do that as we're going along. And
Mm-hmm.
so what I'm just realizing as we're having this conversation is that what was so powerful for me about finding these hearts over that time and then continuing to find them to this day, because this was 15 years ago that actually, yeah, it was about 15 years ago that this separation and divorce happened.
Okay.
As I found each of these hearts, there was a little bit of healing that happened in my own heart.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Because as soon as you see a heart, it there's like this, you get this burst of serotonin, you get this burst of dopamine.
You do. You actually do. It's so funny because I too have these little stone hearts that I found. I have two of them when I was like on vacation in Cape Cod, and I love Cape Cod. But I
Yeah.
understand that once you see it, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to take this. Like,
That's right. And it gives you joy. It brings you that
yes.
moment of recognition and connecting to your heart. I'm getting covered in goosebumps as we're saying this.
I love it.
And I've worked with my deck for the last 10 years, and so many other
Yeah.
people around the world have as well. And this moment in speaking with you and sharing this with you in the way that I am, here's another piece of it that's just showing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that
100%.
beautiful? Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I get
love
that.
that. I
Hmm.
love that. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, Also in the deck or in the box set, you get a journal, and it's a full color journal. And this is all of the pictures in here. This is all my photography.
That's
So
so great.
these are
I love
all,
that. I love the
yeah,
whole finding hearts in nature. I just think it's such a fun little thing you can do every day, you know?
every day, exactly.
Mm.
Yes. And then the deck or then the box set comes with the deck of cards. There's 42 cards in the deck and a pen and a bookmark.
I
So
love
you literally have everything that you would need to embark on your heart's journey and tapping into your heart's wisdom. And each of the cards, each of the photos that I took, and then each of the cards that I created, there's a bit of my story in each one. And that's what makes this deck unique and somewhat different. So each of these cards has a piece of my story on it or in it as part of the message. Because as I found the hearts, there was something going on for me. There was some turmoil or there was some pain or ache that was happening. And
it.
and so in this, I'm sharing my story, and that's what makes this deck unique. For all the years that I've worked with Oracle cards as a healing tool and a meditative tool and with my clients, and that's 30 years or more now, never once have I read from the author of the deck why. why
That's
they made the
interesting.
deck,
Yeah.
right? What was their motivation? What was their intention? What was their story?
Hmm.
And so, as part of my own process of healing, I realized intuitively, I got this really big hit. You have to share your story. And my first thought was, no, are you kidding me?
Right.
No, no, no. I don't want to share this story. It's full of pain and heartache and regret and all of these things,
Yep.
remorse. And then I realized that no, if I'm going to actually walk my talk as a healer who holds people's stories for them,
Hmm.
then I have to share my story. And as terrifying as that was, once it was written and once it was published and it was out in the world, it wasn't my story anymore.
No.
It was anyone who's gone through this story. It didn't
Right. And it
belong
provides
to me.
comfort.
That's right. It didn't belong to me. And my biggest fear at the time was people are going to judge me,
Of course.
right? They're going to look at my decisions and my choices and they're going to say, how could you? Because
Right.
I was the one who left. I was the one who stepped out.
Hmm.
I mean, we were both prepared. We were both ready to do it at that point, but I was the one who took the rein on that.
Right.
And instead of that fear being fulfilled, I received so much support. And even to this day, I still have people reaching out and saying, thank you for sharing your story in the way you did. And thank you for creating these heart cards because your story is my story.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I read your story, I realized I could do it. I could move through this, you
Yeah.
know?
Right. You give them that, just that piece of you actually in those cards. And that's really what they're resonating with.
That's
It's like a
exactly
heart
it.
to heart, it's
Yeah.
hearts everywhere.
That's right. And it's that heart connection. And when you were saying earlier, the whole idea about the intelligence of our heart, there's a whole school of training, I guess you call it, called heart math.
Mm,
And it's looking at the electromagnetic field that is our heart, the physical
hmm.
electromagnetic field that we have. So there's the scientific instruments that can measure what's happening in our heart at the electromagnetic level, what's happening at the cellular level. This is a big battery. We are big batteries,
Yeah.
basically,
It's
right?
crazy.
And
If
our
you think
heart and
about
our
it.
yeah, that's so the brain, the heart, and the gut axis is
Yeah.
what leads us. And it's why so much of the work that I do with clients is around healing what's happening up here in the brain, in the mind, the stories that we're telling,
Hmm.
feeling what we're feeling, and then processing down in the gut what we're
Yeah.
thinking and what we're feeling.
Yeah.
That's the flow, right?
Yeah. It's
And
like,
that flows perfectly then into the chakra system,
yeah.
which is electromagnetic energy system that connects to the physical neural patterns and
Hmm.
central nervous system that we have and our fascia and where our nerves bundle within our nervous system.
Hmm.
These ancient, and we're going back thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, even I would say to the very beginning of our human comprehension of ourselves
Yeah.
as a whole being,
Hmm.
is this understanding that energy moves through us. Energy can also get stuck within us
Hmm.
if there has been an emotional or energetic trauma to the person, and that trauma has not been healed.
Hmm.
Right? And those traumas can be of all natures. They can be big, they can be small, they can be passed down from generation to generation
Hmm.
in our cellular memory, or we can bring them with us when we come in from other lifetimes. So when we step back and we look at all of this, there's this big connective picture
Yeah.
between the heart, the oracle cards as a tool, our energy system, and then chakras as a language to understand what it is that's happening at all levels within our physical, energetic, and emotional being.
Yeah, it's amazing what we're dealing with on an energetic level that a lot of us just don't understand. So if you could go through for people who don't know the chakras, if you could go run through them and kind of
Sure.
like highlight what each one does and maybe like what blockages might look like, especially, for women who are middle age, like does it change? Like I'm just curious, like just give it to
Absolutely.
me.
Sure. All right. This is going to be the Coles Notes Reader's Digest version of the
Yeah.
chakras. Tens of thousands of years of teaching in the next 10 minutes.
Right. Ching.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so keeping it as simple as possible. Essentially what is happening is that the chakras are energy centers in the body that govern certain areas of our human experience.
Hmm.
Here in the West, North America, the vast amount of information and teachings of the chakra systems that have come out of the eastern part of the world, India most specifically in the 60s and 70s, were distilled into seven main chakras. So the root chakra,
Hmm.
which is right at our pelvis, right just above the pelvis bone, the sacral, which is right around the belly button, between the belly button and the root chakra, the
Hmm.
solar plexus, and some people will recognize that word solar plexus because we use solar plexus as well in the physical medical form of the our understanding of the solar plexus. Then we have the heart chakra. Then
Hmm.
we move up into the throat, the third
Okay.
eye, yeah, throat, third eye, and the crown chakra, which is like this. It's sort of
Right on
half
top.
in and half out. Yeah. Okay, so those are the seven main chakras that most people, if they are familiar with chakras,
Hmm.
are familiar with. And then we associate colors with those chakras as well. So red for the root, orange for the sacral, yellow for the solar plexus, green for the heart, turquoise for the throat, indigo for the third eye, and then the crown chakra is seen as a violet color, soft violet, pinky sort of colors.
Okay. I thought it was like white, golden, but maybe that's just
There's, you know what, there's
something
so many different traditions.
else.
So this is just the very basics. Now, when I teach the chakra journey, the chakra system, I I teach on 11 chakras, not 7. But I also teach that every joint in our body is a chakra. So every joint in your hands, there's a chakra. There's an energy center here,
Oh, that's a lot.
right? All the little bones in your feet. We also have ear chakras. We have a mouth chakra, which is connected to the throat chakra. There are eye chakras.
Okay.
And if you Google chakras and you Google origins of, or you Google Sanskrit and chakras, and you look for images, you can find people have put together maps of the body that show all of these different energy centers.
Huh.
And if you really want to do a deep dive, you can look up auras and chakras. So what we're looking at in the chakras is a system that runs up and down the body and then out to other parts of the body. The aura is an energy field that we emanate and that we are in the center of.
Hmm.
And that's our personal space,
Right.
is our auric field, because we're energetic beings. And
Right.
we have scientific instruments that actually can see the colors that an individual
I
has
think
in
that's
their aura.
fascinating.
Yeah, it's called
I
curveballs
mean,
photography. It's amazing. It's
we're like
really
all
beautiful.
walking around in these little color bubbles and we have no idea.
Yes, exactly. And some people can see the colors that are around, or can
That
feel
blows
the
my
colors
mind.
that are around people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that people can actually see the colors around you. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I want to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I can help you. I can teach you how to do it. Um,
Really? You can teach that?
it's
That's
part
a
of what
teachable thing?
it's a teachable thing.
Can you
Sure it
see
is.
like colors around people?
I can often see colors or I can sense colors.
Oh, interesting.
More often it's a sensing of colors. So when I'm looking at you right now, for example, I'm sensing a really beautiful pink color in your aura, which is lovely. And that's coming from your hand chakras. And your hand chakras are the center of your creative expression,
Oh, so that's a
right?
good thing to be like
It's a
pink.
good thing. Good thing. It means that you're in your creative energy.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So when I teach on the foot chakras. So the center of the bottoms of each
Okay.
foot rather, there's a chakra center there. It's a beautiful brown mahogany color. Think of the most richest, gorgeous earth color. And
Okay.
it is our connection to the earth. It's also our what when we're walking our purpose path, that is what we set out to do for ourselves in this lifetime and to be of service to others.
Okay.
That's all connected to our feet chakras.
Oh, interesting.
Then we have ankle, knee, hip. Then we move into this main seven that I just mentioned.
Hmm.
Then there are the hand chakras that we just talked about. Above the crown chakra, there's an eighth chakra. This is known as your soul chakra.
Oh.
And your soul chakra is really beautiful in that, I mean, they're all beautiful, but in that it's not inside the physical body. And so, because it's not inside the physical body, it doesn't need cleaning, cleansing, or balancing. What it does do is it holds every single memory, experience, solution to any situation or problem you may have ever found yourself in from every life you've ever lived, past, present, and future.
Wow.
It's
That's so.
sometimes referred to as your Akashic records or your soul.
Oh, I've heard of that. I never knew what that was.
Yeah,
So that's what that is. Then everyone has their own?
everyone has their own. It's a repository of the soul's experiences so that we can
Oh,
tap into that information at any time so that we can make
how?
wise decisions for ourselves.
How? Okay, wait, say that again.
We, as the individual, in any given moment, can tap into all of our information that's being held in that eighth chakra and download it basically.
Is that kind of like our intuition or
Yes.
no?
Yes, it
That
is part of our
is.
intuition. Our intuition is a full body experience, but when we are looking for solutions to challenges that we've placed in front of ourselves, and because we have free will when we come into these lifetimes, we don't always remember that we have all this information ready for us.
Yeah, I didn't know that. No idea. So how do we?
So the way that I've seen it is that where we've got this beautiful, just think of it like a big bubble. You know, when you blow bubbles, it's like
Hmm.
that. And it's all iridescent and it looks just like a bubble.
Oh,
And
pretty.
coming out of the bottom of that bubble, there are two very, very fine filaments. One is silver and one is gold.
Oh,
And those filaments come down from the eighth chakra, that soul chakra, and they come in, they kind of plug in to the top of the crown chakra. The crown chakra is like a crown, and it's half inside the head and half outside the head,
huh.
so that it can connect us to the divine, however we perceive that to be. And
Mm-hmm.
that divinity is also encapsulated in that soul chakra. So our divinity is available to us through very simply, because I don't like to overcomplicate things. I want people to have access to this knowing immediately.
Hmm.
I want them to understand that they can trust themselves,
Yes.
right? And that we
Yes.
are infinitely wise and we have so much more wisdom than we give ourselves credit for.
Hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
just in a moment of, okay, let's say you're sitting in a challenge and you're not sure what the decision is that you should make or what's going to be in your highest good, you close your eyes, you get calm, you take a breath, you settle into your body, and then you visualize. And for those people who say to me, I don't know how to visualize, I can't visualize, yes, you can. You have an imagination. If you can imagine something, if you can think about something, you can visualize. It's not a mystery process.
Right.
So just think about those two filaments, those that silver and gold, and they're like really light gossamer kind of a texture and take your mind, your envisioning, your thinking, whatever it is, and go up those filaments. Imagine yourself just going up those filaments and going into that bubble
Hmm.
and asking for the guidance that you can then embody that is
Hmm.
in your highest good for whatever the situation is that you are dealing with.
Hmm.
Now, here's the thing about it, though, Anne Marie. You don't always love the answer you receive,
Ah, right.
right?
I can relate to that.
Yeah. And not only do you not always love the answer you receive, but you then have to decide if you're going to take that guided action and how you're going to take that guided action
Hmm.
because you're still here in the physical world. So
Right.
if the question is, is it in my highest good to stay with my partner, for example, let's just pull that one out because it's relevant to the heart's journey. And the answer that you get immediately through your whole system is no, it is not in your highest good to stay with this person,
Okay.
right? You still have to take the action
Right.
of leaving that person or
Right.
leaving that relationship or that situation. But you can continue to ask for guidance. Well, what is the best way for me to do that? And then you listen, you wait. Something is going to come in. It might be go and seek advice from a lawyer.
Hmm.
It might be try to have a conversation with this person if it's possible, if it's rational.
Right.
If you're not in a situation that's safe, it could be get the out
Right.
and
Right.
just
Right.
go, right? And then figure out what you do next. Like so each step You can ask for that guidance, but inevitably you still have to be the one to do it.
Right. You have to do the hard work or the easy work or whatever it is
Yeah.
because that is in your best interest and then it's up to you to make those decisions.
Hmm.
But along the way, you can keep like tapping in and be like, well, what about now? What do I do now?
Yes, exactly. And because you have free will, you're the one who makes the choices. Your
Right.
your soul chakra is not going to make those choices for you any more than say you talk to your spirit guides or you talk to angels or you talk to God or goddess or whomever.
Hmm.
No point are any of those entities or energies going to be able to do it for you.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And then
It's
there's
all on
all
you.
these amazing tools that you can use to help yourself along that journey. Things like meditation, visualization, chakra balancing, energy work, oracle cards, pendulum, I don't know, casting sticks. Like there's
Right.
all there's all sorts of ways that you can tap into your own wisdom, but you're still going to have to make the decisions and take the action yourself.
Right. Right. And it's just a matter of learning to trust yourself and to be able to take those next steps, which is like
That's
a
right.
whole other thing.
It's a whole other thing and a whole other level.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, by the time most people come to see me for counseling, for support, guidance, they've gone through so much already
Hmm.
that has maybe worked a little or has given some relief, but there's something still missing. They know there's something they haven't yet understood or figured out
Right.
that's going to help them achieve that goal of being well again, whether that's mental wellness or physical wellness or spiritual wellness
Right.
for that matter.
Right. So again, like how it shows up,
Hmm.
physically in the body or mentally, or how energy blockages show up. Is that
That's
what
right.
you like work with clients to
Yes.
process, I guess? Or
Yeah. Yeah, so let's talk about that for a moment. Okay, it's all well and good to say, great, okay, I've figured out that the chakras are energy centers in my body,
Mhm.
and I've been pulling oracle cards all day long, and I'm getting all kinds of great advice, but what does it mean, and what am I supposed to do with any of it?
Yeah.
What we know and we understand at a physiological and a chemical level is that when something happens to us, or we're involved in something, we have a response to it. It could be a fear response, it could be an anger response, it could be a joyful response, because keep in mind that joy and happiness and pleasure get held in the body as well.
Hmm.
But mostly what I'm working with for people is the trauma that they are holding in their bodies. So it's not in mainstream medicine necessarily, but certainly in functional medicine or holistic medicine and alternative medicines like what I practice, we understand that emotions can become stagnant and can become stuck in the body. And the body can only hold on to them for so long before it tries to get our attention so
Right.
that we can heal it. And it shows up if we're not able to heal it in the moment or we're not able to heal it shortly after the event, it will start to show up 5, 10, 15, 20 years later as physical symptoms.
Hmm.
And so when we start to look at the physical symptoms that a person is exhibiting and we connect it with the part of the body that it is in, and then what that part of the body signifies on the emotional and energetic realms,
Hmm.
then we can start to unpack what is at the source, emotionally and energetically, of what's showing up physically. So if
Right.
someone has heart issues, they've got heart palpitations, they have angina, they've had a history of heart attacks or arterial plaque, anything that's connected to the heart, someone like myself comes along and says, okay, great, I understand you've got physical stuff going on, but I want to talk to you about your heartbreak.
Hmm.
I want to talk to you about what you're grieving that hasn't healed yet. I want to talk to you about your losses in your life.
Right. So you're not going into what is your diet and what are you eating. You're like, let's really get into the emotional, deeper, what's going on in the mind body.
Yeah.
that's causing this.
That's right. Now, I will also go into the physical as well because I have tools with herbal medicines and food as medicine and essential
Right.
oils as medicine, nature as medicine.
Yes, yes, yes.
Certainly, yeah, if they tell me that they're eating a McDonald's every day, we're going to have
Right.
to make some changes at that level.
Of course.
But those changes are not going to be sustainable unless we do the deeper work.
Yes. Right. Because that's more surface level,
That's right.
not going to McDonald's every day or whatever it may be, um,
Hmm.
as opposed to really diving down because that's more of the catalyst that's creating the issue. So you're really getting more deeper than just putting like a band-aid on something. Because if you fix it in one way, that doesn't mean it's not going to show up. If you fix it with food and diet, that doesn't mean it's not going to show up again
Yes.
6 months later and be like, wait, I thought I had this figured out, but and
Yeah,
you're still holding on to a lot of that
that's
trauma.
exact. Yes, that's exactly it. And when I say to people that I know that deep and permanent healing is possible, even from, and actually I would say most especially from the things that mainstream medicine says cannot be healed,
Hmm.
I'm saying it because I understand that there's a source
Right.
in the energetic and emotional and spiritual bodies that's holding up that physicalness. So when people say, you've got PTSD and this is your life now, no, that's not true. And what a disservice are we doing to people when we tell them that?
Right.
Or you've got diabetes, this is your life now.
Yeah.
Oh, signs of Alzheimer's. Well, I guess it's just a downward slope from here.
Mm.
What? No. Where did we, how did we get here?
Right. Right.
But what's happening, what I see happening in the world is that there are a lot of people who have become disenfranchised, who feel disenfranchised and disconnected from their own health and well-being.
Yeah.
And they're recognizing that where they've been told to go to get solutions and relief isn't working.
Right.
It's not helping solve the actual problem.
Right.
Another prescription is not going to heal the heartache that is underneath the arterial plaque in the heart.
Right, right. So
Yeah.
then what are some ways that you actually use to help release that or move that energy or, first of all, if you just like become aware of it,
Mhm.
and I know there's that phrase of just like you have to let things go, but it's so hard to just let things go.
Yes.
Because you're
Yeah,
like, no, I was
that's right.
hurt.
Well, for sure, it's really complicated and there's lots of layers to it because we oftentimes these health issues, they seem to creep up slowly and then suddenly, boom, we have them.
Right,
Right. And so what people don't necessarily understand is that it can take a while for these things to also heal because it's taken a while for them to become unhealed,
right.
right?
Right. And in this day and age, is more like, give me the pill, give me the thing, give me the surgery. Let's just have it done in the next month and I can just be done with this. But you're not really
Yes.
getting to the core
You're not getting to
issues.
the core. Exactly. And what you're doing is you're giving away your health to somebody else.
Right.
You're not taking responsibility for it. So when you ask, how do I do this work? One of the first places that I start with is the story that my client is telling me. I want to hear them tell me their story, not because they need to tell it again for the hundredth time,
Right.
but because I'm going to be listening for things that other people might not be listening for
Right.
in the language that they're using and the words that they're using to describe themselves and their circumstances,
Hmm.
and how they describe other people's involvement in their stories and their
Of
circumstances.
course. Yes.
Because from there, I can see what patterns they've set up in their lives that where they may be blaming others and allowing themselves to be victims
Yeah.
to their circumstances instead of seeing their role and how they
Right.
play into these dynamics.
Hmm.
And that self accountability can be a challenge to look at because we don't, as adults, want to see necessarily where we've been contributing to our own misery.
No.
The other layer to that is that sometimes that misery or that suffering has a benefit for us. And so we continue in it,
Hmm. Oh, right.
right? And what do you think some of those benefits might be if we are continually staying in our suffering or our discomfort?
Right. It's weird, but you do get a sense of safety because you know it.
Yes, it's
And
comfortable.
yeah, it's like weird, because
Hmm.
it's comfortable, even though it hurts. And now
That's right.
it's physically showing up, and maybe
Yeah,
you're not making the connection, but yeah, there is a lot to that too, where it's just making that change is really hard because you're so used to your story. It's so ingrained. So yeah.
exactly. And some of the other benefits can be financial benefits.
Hmm.
If you're on disability, for example, and you're getting money to stay sick,
Right?
attention
Hmm.
is another one, and I can speak to this. I used to get sick all the time, all the time. I would have all kinds of different things going on. Now, I was given a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, and that diagnosis made sense to me, and I was able to work within that diagnosis to make a lot of really important changes, including where this story comes from.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But what I learned as a young child is that my father would pay attention to me when I was in pain, when something was happening, if I had a stomach ache or if I wasn't feeling well, if I had a headache.
Oh.
The only time that he would be physical with me, he was like hugging him was like hugging a lamppost. But if I wasn't well, he would come over and he would feel, here, and he would say, "Oh goodness, yep, your not what are they? Your lymph nodes are swollen. Is that sore?" He
Hmm.
would leap into action.
Interesting.
And so I learned from a very early age that if I wanted to get attention from my father, I would manifest being unwell, and then I would have his attention.
Huh.
I didn't see the pattern until I was an adult, and I started to down my own path of really deep healing, where I recognized that, oh wow, there's a whole complex interaction going on between myself and my father still as an adult, but more so my relationships with other people.
Hmm.
When we're sick, people will come and they will commiserate with us. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that you've got a cold, or oh, you've got a
Yeah.
they'll start giving you suggestions. Have you tried hot lemon and honey? Have you done
Oh
this?
yeah.
And suddenly you're the center of attention.
Yeah.
And then so you learn that that's how you get noticed. And then you perpetuate that pattern as an adult.
Hmm.
And I'm hoping that some of the people listening right now are having little aha moments in their own lives.
Totally.
And so the question then becomes, once you're aware that this is your pattern, is this a pattern that serves my highest good? And is this a pattern I wish to continue? Because maybe you do. I had
Right.
a client once, she came to me with fibromyalgia, and we talked a lot about where it was coming from on the emotional and the energetic levels. And I said, "Are you wanting to heal this?" And she said, "You know what? I don't think I do because I'm receiving money from my employer because of my fibromyalgia diagnosis, and I don't want to go back to that job.
Oh wow.
So if I heal my fibromyalgia, I'm going to have to make a decision about my career, and I don't want to do that." I said, "Okay, fair enough. You are in total awareness of what you're
Yeah.
doing, and you're willing to continue in the discomfort of the fibromyalgia in order to sustain a financial stability." That's
Yeah,
the
but at least
payoff.
now she has the awareness around it, and then she's like consciously making that choice.
That's right.
So that does actually kind of like it is helpful in a way because
Yeah,
you are creating that awareness around it.
that's right. And that's that free will piece as well.
Right.
And I said to her, "Great. And if you ever decide that you're ready to step away from that work and you're ready to do something else, and you want to have help and support healing the emotional underpinning of the fibromyalgia, you can come back and see me and we can do that work together." Now, I didn't see her again. She didn't come back to me again. But
Yeah, because I'm curious, because it's like then there's another layer there, and it was like, well, why do you feel you have to stay in this job? It's like I'm sure you could
oh yeah.
whole other thing.
And that's the journey that I go on with my clients, but I meet them where they are.
Yeah,
Right. So she stated that that was her need and that's what she was willing to do. And so I honor that.
yeah,
It's not my job to change her mind about the direction that she wants her life to go in.
right, right. But I could see how you can all of a sudden just you think you're trying to cure or heal one thing, and it takes you to something else
Yes.
that they probably didn't connect that goes to something. So it's like really kind of like a big old rabbit hole.
It is. It's a big old rabbit hole with a huge onion in the middle of it, and you're peeling
Right.
that onion.
Peeling it away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fascinating. It really, because there is something to that connection, and childhood does hold a lot of the influences because we're so influential as
Yes,
children, we just absorb and we don't even realize what we're absorbing so much that
that's
when we
right.
do get to adults, it is a good place to start. Is that usually like your starting point?
The starting point is where the client is in
Okay.
this present moment. And then we start to peel back the layers of, okay, but what is showing up for you right now? What of it do you wish to shift or change? What is it
Hmm.
that you're not comfortable in anymore? And then let's start looking for the source of it,
Hmm.
of where it came from originally. And that does tie back into the conversation about the chakras. Because what we know about the chakra teachings is that the root chakra, for example, that beautiful red chakra, that's your root, that's your foundation. When you are in womb, and then as you're born and up till about 7 years of age,
Hmm.
all the things that happen for you are housed in that root chakra.
Oh,
That's the governing body. The root chakra governs our
that's
childhood
interesting.
from conception to about age 7 in some traditions, right?
Hmm.
Um, once we around the age of between 5 and 7 is when we start to identify ourselves as ourselves. We start to have a sense of self-awareness. Oftentimes in our culture, children go to school, they go to preschool or play school, or they go to grade 1 or kindergarten. Now they're out of the home. There are other influences that come in, including their interpersonal relationships with others.
Hmm.
So they move, now the energy moves up into the sacral chakra, and the sacral chakra governs our sense of self, our self-esteem, a self-awareness. It governs creativity, sexuality, and financial, like money, our relationship with money, our relationship with our ability to take care of ourselves.
Huh.
Because we start to walk into independence around that age between 5 and 7,
Right, right.
right? From 7 to 14, we're governed by our sacral chakra and all the characteristics of the sacral chakra, that journey towards our sense of self.
So the sacral is which one is the sacral?
Sacral is the one above the root chakra. It's the orange one,
Okay.
the second in the 7 main chakras.
Okay, so that's the orange one. Okay.
Yeah. Well, when we move up into our solar plexus is our seat of personal relationship. So between the ages of 15, 14, 15, and up until about 20, we are a fully functioning pseudo adult
Right. Yes.
trying to figure ourselves out. Our relationships become much more deep. They become more significant in a more emotionally entangled way than when we're children.
Yeah.
Generally, when we're kids, our relationships are pretty straightforward. It's like, hey, you want to play with me? Cool,
Yeah.
let's go play.
Yeah.
But when we're in our teen years, it's like, do you want to date
Like
me?
awkward.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't like me, you know.
Hmm.
And we're starting to explore our sexuality and our sensuality and our sense of self, and a lot of our beliefs become formulated when we're in our teen years. That's when we move up into the solar plexus. Solar plexus is primarily your relationship with yourself as the fundamental relationship, and then by extension, all other relationships.
Okay.
Okay. And that's governed until we move into our mid 20s, into our 30s, where we start to activate our heart chakra. Now, it isn't to say that all the chakras aren't functioning all the time. They
Right.
are. They are.
Right.
But we're just talking about the governing energies around each stage of our human journey,
Yeah.
which in a way ties into the tarot card, just to do a total, 180 circle back to what we
Uh,
first started talking about, because the tarot talks about the journey through a lifetime and all the different characters that we might meet who are influential, or to whom we can be influential, as well as our experiences around things like money and success and strife and discord.
mm,
So now, for those people who can do the big picture thinking, you can see this meshing
yeah.
of an old system of understanding the human journey through the tarot, for example, the chakra system, which is again understanding the human journey through the energy systems of our bodies, modern medicine that looks at the human journey through our physical
Right.
systems, right? Especially our fixation on aging in our culture and the
Mm.
way in which we do that. And then moving into the spiritual understanding through spirituality, through
Right.
energy, through dreaming, through an understanding that we are more than just flesh and bone.
Hmm.
And we
Right.
move
So
into
much more.
that journey. And that can be through energy work, that can be through spiritual awakening, that can be through working with tools like a pendulum or an oracle card or something like that.
Right, right. I found it interesting. You like triggered something, like when you had said something, the part about like we're learning, or I don't know if it was like self-love or, but like how we love ourselves extends out
Mm.
into the relationships that we have around us.
Right.
And I don't know why I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. So it's like, I guess the level that you love yourself
Hmm.
will be displayed outwardly in the relationships that you have with other people. Either you're super close and tight, or you have a lot of, distant relationships that aren't really connecting because you're not really connecting to yourself, right? Am I making kind of like a
Yes.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then we can take that even further. And I say this cautiously because I don't want anyone to take on self-blame when I say this. But when we look at the relationships that we have attracted to us, the quality of people that we've attracted to us, if we are in abusive relationships, we are abusing ourselves.
Mm.
When we stop abusing ourselves, when we do that work, and now you see I'm pointing at the heart now because when we move
Mhm.
from the sacral or the solar plexus, now we move up into the heart. When we love ourselves, we will not tolerate bad behavior from other people.
Right.
And I know that there are situations and circumstances that are very, very difficult and dangerous to
Of
extricate
course.
oneself from. So I want to be very um, mindful and respectful of the circumstances that people can find themselves in.
Of course, right.
But at the same time, and at the same time, one of the ways of leaving those circumstances is by loving oneself first and putting oneself first.
Yeah.
Say, I am important enough to not be someone else's punching bag emotionally or physically,
Oh yeah. Oh my
right?
gosh, yeah. Yeah. Right. It
Yeah.
really does. 'Cause in some of the things that I've heard in podcasts that I've listened to, uh you can understand what's going on internally if you look at what's going on externally in your world.
Yes.
It's like a mirror image, So if there's something outside that is not pleasing to you, look inside and be like, where, what's happening inside? What are my thoughts? What are my feelings? What are the emotions? And, you know, that is making this appear in front of me. It's
Yeah.
really interesting because it is just it's a lot of inner work.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to like
Mm-hmm.
admit to yourself
Yeah.
that there's something going on inside that is causing this on the outside, but there is a connection.
There is absolutely a connection. And I can remember from my own personal experience when I had this aha moment of I'm in an abusive relationship.
Yeah. Ooh.
I'm allowing myself to be abused. How did this happen? I'm a smart, competent, intelligent woman. I can think critically. I can see other people's blind spots, but I couldn't see my own blind spot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this was happening. It's like tunnel vision. The blinders were here.
Right.
Once I started to look at and realize and recognize, oh my gosh, this is what's happening. Then I had to do the inner work. Well, why am I allowing this? Why am I letting this be okay?
Right.
That this is the way this other person is treating me. And
Yeah.
what am I going to do about it?
Those are big, heavy questions.
Yes. Yeah. But
But
you know
yeah.
what? Getting healthy is the best revenge, should that be the place that somebody needs to go, you
Right.
know. But really, your own self-worth is worth everything.
Yeah. It is everything.
It's worth every trillions of dollars that are out there if you want to put a cost on it.
Seriously.
So
It's
when you
incredible.
start to work on that self-worth, that self-esteem, that self-value, something happens in your body. Your brain responds, your heart responds, everything responds. You move up into your throat chakra and you start speaking your truth. You start recognizing your boundaries. You start saying no when it's appropriate to say no and yes when it's appropriate to say yes.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, when we're looking at the ages that are connected with the chakra, development of chakra, that's usually in their 40s and 50s. And that's often when long-term marriages that are not functional, that are dysfunctional, start to fall apart.
Oh, wow.
Because one or both of the people start to question the patterns in those relationships.
Right. And start to take ownership and be like, oh, wait a minute, I let this happen.
Mm-hmm.
I can fix this. It's my job now.
That's right. That's right. And that brings you up into your intuition. And for, I mean,
Right.
everybody's intuitive. We are a psychic species, but I'm not going to become a mechanic, although I could learn to fix my car if I wanted to. So some people could be more intuitive, but they don't want to. So they're
Right.
not. Right. But you could,
Right.
there's lots of exercises. There's been tons of books written, there's loads of podcasts, there's loads of series. I've got classes on it. You can develop your intuition. You can tune into it and you can develop it. And once you start to trust yourself, your intuition, this is where your pineal gland is on the physical side,
Mm-hmm.
the equation, right? The energetically, this is your third eye. When your third eye is open, suddenly you see things differently.
Yeah.
You see past the veil. You see past the mesmerizing that other people are capable of doing that you've participated in,
Yeah.
and you start to see. And once you
Right.
start to see, that's when you connect in with your crown chakra, which is faith.
Which
You
is faith?
trust.
Faith or
Faith,
fate?
faith,
Faith.
faith, as in faith being faithful. You have
Right. Right.
faith.
Right.
You have faith in yourself that
Yes.
you can make these wise choices for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really trusting yourself. That's like really huge.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Then there's one more chakra in my
Okay.
chakra system that I teach on, and that's the ninth chakra.
Oh, where's that?
Well, if you Google the ninth chakra, you'll see all kinds of images of it being even higher up than the eighth chakra. It's the
Okay.
ascended chakra that connects you to ascension. But in my teachings, and this is how it was shown to me, the ninth chakra is here. It's back in the body. And coming out of the eighth chakra, those beautiful filaments I described earlier, there's a
Mm-hmm.
silver one that comes to the front and a gold one that comes down the back. And they meet in the middle of your chest, between your solar plexus and your heart.
Oh,
This is your divine center, your
okay.
divine center. And the reason that we come back into these bodies to activate our ninth chakra is because our ninth chakra is what I call the God spot, or your chakra of total trust.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Right
there's
here.
a saying, love makes the world go round, right? Love is the infinite energy of the universe. To that, I will add love and trust. If you cannot trust these bodies, this body that you've been given, then your ninth chakra is not functioning properly. It's been
Ah,
blocked. Your body is the first temple. Our bodies are the first temples. Every other temple that's been built on this planet has been built in reflection of our temples, the body's temple. This is the place to worship. And I don't mean that like worship yourself and I'm just so wonderful and I'm divine and
right.
all that. What I
Yeah.
mean is the trust that you have with your body. This is a symbiotic relationship between your soul and your body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been divinely and physically, specifically designed for you. So when you want to achieve deep and permanent healing, you have to heal your relationship with your body first and foremost. Think about all the things that we say about our bodies. How many people have a dysfunctional relationship with their body?
A
What
lot.
part of your body don't you love?
A lot.
Can you stand in front of the mirror stark naked and love yourself up and just look at your whole body and go, wow, I love my eyes. I love my elbows. Look at those knees. Oh my gosh, look at that belly. Look at my bum. I love it all.
Right.
That's an exercise that I encourage my students and my clients to do if this is the work that we're doing is around healing the relationship with the body because there are so many places and ways in our lives that we can become disconnected from our bodies,
Oh,
right?
completely.
It's
Yeah.
everywhere. It's
Yeah.
everywhere for men and women and it's right from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
right from the get-go. So that's really important work. The trusting piece of that is that once we trust our bodies to carry us through this life, then we can begin to cultivate discernment of trust. So that's really activating every single system in our bodies, physical, mental, emotional, energetic, intuitive,
Mm-hmm.
when we step into situations and circumstances and we can ask, is this in my highest good? Is there something about this situation I'm not feeling comfortable about? Am I going to trust that feeling?
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not about blind trust. It's not trusting everybody because everybody's trustworthy. It's not
Right.
trusting that you're going to be safe even if you walk down that dark alley and there's a creepy guy at the end of it.
Right.
It's discernment.
Right.
It's
You got to be smart.
you got to be smart. Exactly. And that cultivates from trust. So, what I've experienced personally, and I've seen it for other people as well, is that when our ninth chakra is ready to be activated, some circumstance or situation will show up in our lives that requires us to trust ourselves and our ability to make decisions about it. It's a
Okay.
trust circumstance. So, for example, one of mine was we were happily living in a home we were renting. We'd been told by the landlady, "You're there for as long as you need to be. It's going to be 20 years before I need that house again." And then we get a phone call saying, "I'm rent evicting you. You've got 3 months."
Oh, you're like, thanks.
And the rental market was not great where we were living at the time, and we had a lot of people, good meaning people, telling us, "Oh, it's going to be so hard to find a new place. Oh my gosh, I feel so badly for you. Oh, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?"
Thanks.
And I said, "I'm going to trust that I will be able to manifest the perfect place at the perfect time at the perfect price in the perfect neighborhood for the perfect reasons." And despite everybody's best intentions in letting me know how awful it was out there and that it wasn't going to happen,
Right.
through a
Thanks.
series of events, very synchronous events, we managed to find ourselves a new place at the right price in the best neighborhood we wanted, right in our neighborhood.
That's
We, it,
amazing.
it checked off all the boxes.
So wait, because I'm really curious about this. So then wait, as you're going through it, like what do you feel? Like are you just not allowing yourself to get anxious? Are you not allowing yourself to, or you're doing things so you're not anxious, right? You're thinking thoughts and feelings are in line, so you're not creating this, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Freak out, right?
Yeah.
You're just kind of like,
Yeah. I'm not letting myself get caught up in other people's fears. I'm not letting those fears be projected onto me.
hmm
And I'm not allowing myself to take those on as mine. Now, some people might say that's naive, but the truth of the matter is, we looked in the newspaper. Well, back in those days, we looked in the newspaper, we looked online. I could see that there wasn't a lot out there. And so what I did in that moment was created a stopgap where we stayed in someone else's house while they were on holidays for 3 months while we got ourselves figured out,
hmm
knowing and trusting that the
It's
right
coming.
place at the right time, it's
Right,
coming. I can feel it, but it's not ready yet.
right,
So there's no point in getting all anxious and looking and
right.
getting myself into a panic and suffering in my suffering
Uh-huh.
and catastrophizing.
Yes, which is like that's the normal reaction.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So it's faith and it's trust and it's loving all the people who were doing their very best with their own fears,
Yes, but
but
not getting caught
recognizing that
up in it.
it's fine. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that is so true. It saves you so much anguish. And yeah, that's really a great story. And I love that. And
yeah.
thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing all of this, I love it all. I mean, but yeah, and I just think it's amazing and I just think it's calming and it's more of what we need
Hmm.
in this world as it gets a little bit crazier and crazier. I think we just need to tap more into ourselves, our bodies, and,
Yes.
really cultivate self-love, self-trust, and make decisions from there. And I think it will really help people just find more happiness and ease and peace. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing all of this. I really appreciate your time. It means a lot to me.
Me too. I appreciate having a
Thank you.
space
Giving me
where,
a heart.
yeah, I appreciate having a space where we can have these conversations
Oh yeah.
and creating the intention that people listening will have a aha moment at some point in the conversation and something will flip for them, something will shift for them, and that it can be something so small,
hmm
and then that ripple effect is so profound, it changes their lives entirely.
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
take that action, that guided action.
Yeah. So
I have
yeah.
a mantra that I say often in the morning before I get going with my day, which is that I invite ease and cooperation in all my interactions today.
Mm.
So I create the expectation,
Hmm.
and then it's amazing what then
It is.
flows.
It's true. I mean, that's a whole, yeah, wow. Yeah, I could just keep going, but thank you so much, Megan. I truly, my heart to yours, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Mine as well.